Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 8 of the 2015 NFL season. Well, the first game, it's going to be the Dolphins at New England, and I do like the Patriots. Don't be flabbergasted to be in a state of shock, people. New England Patriots, there's just too much offensive weapons. They're averaging over 35 points per game right now. They've won 6 in a row at home over the Dolphins. They have dominated them in recent years at New England. Now, I understand what's interesting is with New England is that they're also number one in touchdown red zone percentage. So they capitalize on opportunities in the red zone. And for Miami, this team does seem rejuvenated under their new head coach. They've scored 82 points combined the last two games, which were both victories. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill, he boasted his highest QBR ever in that last game. And they may make this competitive, but I still like New England. They're still the better team. And they are not ready to renounce that division to anybody, including the Dolphins. So I'm taking New England at home. The next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs at home over the Detroit Lions. And mainly this is just virtue of the Kansas City Chiefs being at home. Now, they've allowed 26 sacks this season. That's one of the worst in the league. Their offensive line obviously is going to have to play a little bit better in this game. Now, if there's any consolation for Kansas City, there may not be such a thing as moral victories. However, 3 of their losses were by 7 points or less. They did win their last game. They played very well. I saw them in this game. And now Detroit, they're getting a revamped coaching staff a little bit. I think they changed at least 2 of their coaches on this team. And these teams, they're both abysmal, but mainly because Kansas City is at home. That is why I'm taking them. So I'm taking the Chiefs at home. The next game, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons at home over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, last week we saw Atlanta's offense looked abhorrent, to say the least. I understand. Okay, Tennessee's defense may have played well to some degree. I give them credit for that. But Atlanta, I think that was an aberration. Matt Ryan has a 42-15 home record, all-time, very sterling record. And when you have Matt Ryan, you have Julio Jones, you have all these weapons. I mean, it's hard to pick against them. Now, Tampa Bay, one good thing about them, not just maybe a little progression of Jameis Winston at his quarterback position, but their kickoff return average is one of the best in the league, 28.2 yards per return, and this could be pivotal in them at least making this game competitive. But I like Atlanta at home. The next game, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals on the road to defeat the Cleveland Browns. Now, Arizona is one of the better scoring offenses in the league. Wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald is having a superlative season, to say the least. You have Carson Palmer, very, very solid quarterback, and they're very well-rounded on the defensive and offensive end. Now, Cleveland. I understand they do look like they're a little bit more competitive than in recent seasons. Their run defense is abhorrent, though, and if Arizona gets their running game going, it could be a long day for the Cleveland Browns. They also are worst in the league with 11 fumbles, so that dropping epidemic or whatever, that needs to go down a little in this game if they're going to have a chance. So they keep the turnovers to 0-1. They may have a shot, but I still like Arizona to win the game. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the St. Louis Rams at home to defeat the San Francisco 49ers. St. Louis is actually playing very well right now. They have their relentless pass rush on this team. However, their scoring offense is one of the worst in the league at 18 points per game. They're dead last in total offense. But they do have their defense. They have their pass rushing going for them. Maybe they can get their offense going in this game. They have a good shot to win it. San Francisco, speaking of bad offenses, they're number 32 in scoring offense. Quarterback Colin Kaepernick is somewhat sporadic. I don't know what we're going to see in this particular game. San Francisco also is number 29 in time of possession, and St. Louis is actually worse, number 31. So this time of possession can really figure prominently in this game, and whoever wins this, I think, is very likely to win this particular battle. I like the Rams at home. Next game, I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at home to defeat the New York Giants. The Saints have played very well recently. They've won 3 of their last 4. They've scored 58 points combined in their last 2 games. They've won their last 2 games. Now, the Giants are kind of a team that's fluctuating. They go one way one week, another way another week. They are +9 in turnover differential, which is number 1 in the league. They're obviously very opportunistic, and they could capitalize on turnovers very well. They're also, I mean, when I look at this team, it says number 1 in total tackles. So that is an interesting stat to look at, and I hope they won't be having to tackle too many people this game. That means the defense is on the field way too long. But I do like the Saints at home, and I think Drew Brees in this offense is starting to play cohesively, and they're clicking right now. So the Saints at home I like. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings on the road to defeat the Chicago Bears. Now Minnesota, they have you talk about a team that kind of is just almost surreptitiously under the radar, winning games and playing exceptional. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and one of those games was a 3-point loss to the Denver Broncos. So this is a team that might be a team to be reckoned with, and they may even make the postseason. I think Minnesota has really surprised me, and Adrian Peterson, one of the better running backs in the league, 530 yards. And you look at Chicago. They have a pretty good running back by the name of Matt Forte, but they have not, I don't believe they have defeated a team with a winning record this season, and I think that's very significant. And even though they're at home, I like Minnesota to pound this ball and to win this game. Now, next game, I'm going to take the San Diego Chargers on the road over the Baltimore Ravens, and San Diego, they're number 1 in total offense. Their quarterback and number 1 quarterback in passing yards in the league with Phillip Rivers. And the thing about this is I know San Diego has not really played up to maybe their potential or their expectations, but Baltimore has just not played well at all. The ravenous defense I always talk about obviously seems to be no more. Their Ravens are giving up a very large amount of points per game. They're in the well into the low 50% tier as far as that goes. And Joe Flacco has not seemed to be Joe Flacco for some reason, their quarterback. And I do like San Diego to win at home in a close game. Now, I mean San Diego to win on the road in a close game. I'm sorry. Next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. From what I hear, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be playing this week as far as his status goes, and I'm taking him even if not. I just feel that Pittsburgh has dominated this series. In recent years, they've won 8 of their last 10 versus the Bengals. Now, the Cincinnati in their unblemished record does mean something. Cincinnati may be better this season than they have been in recent years when they've been that perennial playoff contender, but can't win a playoff game. And maybe this is the year they get over that hump. I just don't see them winning this one, though. Pittsburgh has actually, I believe, won the last 3 against the Bengals, 8 of the last 10. And this is a team, Pittsburgh, I think being at home, I think that will be pivotal in this particular game. Now, Cincinnati Bengals, the one really thing you don't hear much about is they've only allowed 6 sacks. Their offensive line is tremendous and gives Dalton all the time in the world to throw. So if Pittsburgh can get to Andy Dalton, then that's obviously favoring the Bengals. But I do like Pittsburgh in a close one. Now I'm going to take Houston Texans at home over the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Houston Texans, I do like their offense. I know they're not playing well. They're number 4 in total offense in the league. They have DeAndre Hopkins, 776 receiving yards. That's number 1 in the league. And J.J. Watt is one of the sack leaders. What else is new? And it is in Houston. Tennessee has just looked, deplorable. They had a number of drives I thought they could have scored last week and won the game, and they just were not able to do it, and only put up 7 points last week. And the announcer was lauding the team for having something like 19 defensive 3-and-outs in the early part of last week's game, but I wonder how many offensive 3-and-outs that Tennessee has had. And this is one of the better pass defenses in the league, but it's a little bit deceptive because I think a lot of that's attributed to the fact that teams know that they can run on the Titans. So I'm going to go with Houston to win at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the New York Jets reluctantly to defeat Oakland on the road. Now, the Jets in Oakland have played very tough games in recent seasons. The Jets they're one of the better scoring defenses in the league. When you have Brandon Marshall and Chris Ivory, a lethal combination on offense, the quarterback, Fitzpatrick, he don't put up prodigious numbers necessarily, but he's very consistent and efficient. Now, Oakland is superseding expectations to say the absolute least. Now, they're number 3 in the rush defense, so it may be hard for both these teams to accumulate rushing yards on the ground. However, Oakland is number 32 in the NFL in pass defense, and I think that could be the difference in this game. If Fitzpatrick can air it out and capitalize on this pass defense of Oakland, I see the Jets winning this game, and I am taking the Jets to win on the road in a competitive battle. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to win on the road over the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Seattle, they're not as good. That's an obvious statement, of course, as they had been in recent seasons. However, their pass defense is still not terrible. They're number 3 in their pass defense in the league. They've allowed the most sacks in the league, so they are going to have to protect Wilson just a little bit better. And Seattle is actually dead last in the league in red zone touchdown percentage. So they're going to have to, even though Dallas may be depleted, Seattle is going to have to do a little bit better, I think, when they get into the end zone. This is a road game. Dallas may be depleted, and they also have that. They beat Seattle last season, as many of you may know. I believe that was at Seattle. And Dallas may make this a close game, but I think Seattle's still good enough to defeat Dallas on the road. So I'm taking the Seahawks. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win on the road over the Denver Broncos. Now, Green Bay puts up a good amount of points. Their offense, they're averaging over 27 points per game right now, and their scoring defense is actually the best. That is what is unheralded and unheard of. 16.8 points per game allowed. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers, is obviously he's phenomenal. There's not enough superlatives to really describe him. And you look at the Denver Broncos now. This is a team that has a very good defense as well. Number 1 total, number 1 pass defense, and they also have the most sacks in the league. However, Green Bay is number 2 with 23 sacks. And I think if Peyton Manning can't be the typical Peyton Manning, I see Green Bay winning. Denver has lost. They've won all 6 games by about 6 points per game on average. So I understand a win is a win. Being victorious is being victorious. However, I just think they can only keep this up so long, and they're going to have to put some more points on the board soon if they're going to consistently win during this regular season. And I think Green Bay, I like their offense a little bit better, and I'm going to take them to win on the road over the Broncos. Now, last but not least, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to win at home over the Indianapolis Colts. Carolina, has been on a rampage, to say the least. They're 11-1 in their last 12, dating back to last season. I mean, they are for real, not surreal. This is a team. Josh Newman is one of 3 players with 4 interceptions this season. This team, obviously, they're playing great on the offensive and defensive end. Just a very fundamentally sound team, very well balanced. And you look at I'm going to start calling the Indianapolis Colts soon the Indolent Adults. I don't know what's going on with this team. They were one of the favorites to win, maybe at least go to the Super Bowl. And they're number 32 in total defense right now. So they're not going to be able to really contain Carolina, I don't think, in this game. And it is at Carolina, and they're number 2 in tackles in the league, and they may have to do a lot of tackling in this game, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm taking Carolina at home. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my 2015 Week 8 picks and analysis. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my 2015 Week 9 picks and analysis. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.